Well, what would you do in that case? So I'm sure what quite a few of you would think of doing is trying to use content-aware fill that's in Photoshop. And so the way the content-aware fill works is that you come in here and you select the area you want to remove. So here I'm going to get this road and the little hill leading up to it. I'm using the quick select tool that's in Photoshop to do this. You can use any selection that you want. But then you run content-aware fill and you will get a result that looks like this.
Whoa.
So at first glance it looks pretty good. One thing about content-aware fill is that you may notice that this patch right in here, like that patch right there, which looks just like that patch there, which looks... The reason that happens is because content-aware fill, what it's doing is it's looking through this image and trying to find other content in other places of the image to put in the hole, to make it look, to fill it in. And sometimes this works like magic, but other times you get these repeated patterns, and so you may need to go back and change those. So do we have another solution? Well, today we're introducing Project Stitch. So I click there to get it started. It takes a few seconds. But what this is going to do, instead of searching this image for content, it's going to use our Sensei machine learning method to go search other images for content. And namely, it's going to be searching Adobe Starch. And so just like that, we can go in and we can get a result that looks like this. And so it pulled this content from another image. But we don't only get one result, we can get many results like this. So you see here as I'm clicking through, there's a lot of different results. Some are better than others. But just like that, automatically we get multiple possibilities.
So this is good stuff out here.
So let's try another one here. So in this case, we're going to do what we just can't possibly do with content-aware fill. We are going to look at replacing the entire park in the foreground here. So we'll get it started. Now, something like content-aware fill, again, it often works like magic, but in this case, there's no content in the top of the image that it could possibly really use in the bottom of the image to do anything. But running scene stitch, we can get something like this. Or like this, or like this. So, and you may notice this is doing more than just filling the hole in the image. This is really allowing you to reimagine the image, to try new things, to remix in new content. And it looks very different if you look at it, with this tennis court in the foreground versus, a riverside that doesn't quite match, or a field, or this marsh area, and so on. So, we removed a road, we removed this park. Let's try to scale it up and remove part of a city. So in this case, my client, maybe she really loves the skyline. This is of Denver, but she's not a big fan of this neighborhood. Did anyone live in this neighborhood, by the way?
It's not like Wash Park. It's a great area.
Okay, well, it's about to get a remodel. So we're going to run scene stitch. Now again, remember, this is searching Adobe stock images in it now. So we have access to all of that content. And we're doing this matching, not just by looking at pixels, but looking at the semantics. And because of that, we can get a result that looks kind of like this. Or like this. Go through a few of these. So you can see a lot of these will work really well. Some aren't quite as good. You might not want to use this one in particular. But some of these others are pretty much ready to go. And so with our scene stitch technology, it allows you not only to invent your image. So whether you want to just fill a large hole or you really wished Denver had a beach, scene stitch can make it quick and easy for you. Thanks.
Typically what we have to do as designers is take photos from other places, and this is like our job, and it's like he's just hitting this magic button. So thank you so much, Brian.
Well, thank you. You're putting so many people out of work.
Hopefully for them to do their
yeah, no, that's fantastic. Wow, so if I'm can you in pictures replace that person with the one that got away?
Yes. I mean, at the moment, it's looking at actually, we would probably replace them with background, so they would just be lonely.
That's fine.
But, we actually have done it where we can look at the content in the whole and try to match the content semantically, which would mean it wouldn't pull in other people, and then you'd have the selection to look at.
Great. Wow.
Good man.
All right. Thank you.
Good answer. lot of graphics to make something magical. It's called Physics Pack, and here to show it to us is Paul Sensei. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. So everybody knows that the internet is made of cats, right? So did you know that Adobe is also made of cats? So these sorts of decorative packing ornaments are really, really popular. And those of you who have know it is really tedious. And so we can do something like, I'm going to switch here into Illustrator, where we have an outline and we have some elements. And I'm going to drag this cat in here, and it fits pretty well. And now let's try this one. We need something between the tail and the thing, and that's not going to really fit, but maybe we can rotate it or something. And it kind of goes, but now Illustrator Public Work would help with that. But even with that, this is, it's a long trial and error process, and it's going to take you a long time. So remember something Shantanu said yesterday in his keynote, nobody wants to spend 3 hours doing something you can do in 3 minutes. Well, Physics Pack can do even better than that. So I exported these elements from Illustrator into my Physics Pack application and started by scattering them in the shape. And now I'm going to be doing a physics simulation to make these up. All of their edges are going to try to fit together as closely as possible. So if you look over here in this branch of the egg, there's a bunch of cats with arched backs. And so look at their tails, how some of the tails are straight and some of them are bent. Physics Pack automatically makes their shape deform slightly to fit the space. And then when they're finished with the first set of elements, we optionally can add these extra filling elements to even out the packing and give you a really, really nice result. And so here, in about the same amount of time as it took me to do 2 elements in Illustrator, we have a complete result. So here's another example that I put together with our lovely and talented host, Paul. And this is based on something that he did a couple months ago in Illustrator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this kind of annoys me a little bit. I spend so much time doing this very same thing. Vectors, bending things, pre-Puppet Warp in Illustrator, and yeah, I like the demo, but I wish I had it like 2 months ago, because it took me forever to make what I needed to. Thanks, Paul.
So when it finishes here, it's going to find a few empty spaces, and this time we're going to fill them with some leaves. And so you can really see it forming the shape of everything that it put together here, all using the power of a physics simulation. And again, we're done. So the program created an SVG file, which I'm going to open here in Illustrator. I'm just going to select everything and copy it, and then I'm going to go over to this composition that we've been working on, where we already put in the background, which we also created with Physics Pack. And I'll just paste in the foreground here, and turn on a couple of other focus elements that we created. And here we have this beautiful design, all done through the magic of physics. So happy Dia de los Muertos, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Sensei? Is this
Oh, well, it's sensational.
You really wanted to do that, Joe.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
So you just give it a shape and the little elements, and it sort of figures out how to...
Absolutely. You can do big elements, you can do small elements, whatever you set it up to do, and it'll just fill it up for you.
And you can tell it how many to fill it up with, in which case they will be smaller if there's more.
Yeah, like we have in the background and larger ones on the skull here.
Yeah,
It's really mesmerizing to watch the shape come together, too.
It is. It's fun. It's like soothing. Plus, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah. You're a designer. You do that. This is your job.
I did.
This is just your side gig.
I work for Adobe full time.
Right, but you also do the presentations.
Yeah, I will put this together. Exactly. So I did put this together. But again, it took me so much time when I did it a couple months ago, Paul. So that's why I really appreciate you. And I wish I found this a couple months ago. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you very much.
This next one is really fun. It's actually called Playful Palette. Perfect name for it because it just really lets you play with colors naturally. So everybody give a warm welcome to Masha Shagrina.
Hello. I'm so excited to talk to you about color today. When I'm not writing code, I love oil painting. So if I were working on this portrait with oil paints, I may start with this base color and lay out a rich set of skin tones on my palette that I can easily access. But when I work with digital media, I get a bit frustrated with the standard color tools. For example, here I can move my cursor more towards the green or more towards the red, but I cannot blend colors. Also, I have to pick every color completely from scratch. Project Playful Palette was inspired to bring some traditional palette interactions to digital media. So here I can start with this base skin tone as before, and then I will tap to add it to the palette. Then I can add some green that I was interested in, and maybe some rosy red. Additional media, I can freely mix these colors together. And unlike traditional media, I can just as easily unmix them. So it's hard for me to destroy my mixing area. I'm going to freeze the palette so I don't make accidental changes. I can tap anywhere in this dish to select color. You can see it changing over here. So it's easy for me to access related colors quickly. As I'm painting, you'll notice that the colors I've used automatically here, and I can tap on each swatch to not just select the color itself, but also the position in the palette dish from which it came. Let me show you why that's handy on something that's a bit further along. So in this case, let me use the eyedropper tool to select the lip color. And now I know where it came from in the palette, so I can just adjust it slightly and continue painting with these related colors. Glad you like it. But this palette is only composed of 4 colors, but as you can see, I was able to create quite a range of skin tones just with that. But suppose at this point in the painting process, I'm looking at this and I realize I'm not so happy with these strong green hues that I used. I wish I laid out my palette slightly differently from the very beginning. In a typical workflow, I would have to repaint the entire painting to change my mind. But Playful Palette allows me to go back in time and rethink my color choices. So now I'm going to double tap on this green blob here, and let's see what this painting would look like if I used a more grayish tone. You see the palette adjusted, and so did the entire painting. But let's play a bit more with it and go crazy. So let me make my friend look a bit like an avatar character with blue skin, and I'll change this accent color to magenta and the shadows to this deep indigo hue. I think she would get a kick out of this, so now I will continue painting. Has changed. At this point, all I'm really missing is some yellow avatar eyes. So let me rearrange this palette. I'll change this blob color to yellow, and this blob color to orange. Let's see, how does this look? I think maybe a bit more vibrant yellow would look better.
Slid it over there.
And now I can continue painting the eyes, but you'll notice that I completely destroyed the skin tone palette I was using earlier. This happens all the time with traditional painting, and you just have to go back and recreate your entire mixing dish I can seamlessly switch between working on the eyes with the eye palette and working on the skin tones with the skin palette. So with Playful palette, we didn't just replicate the traditional palette experience, but rather we reinvented it with a little bit of digital magic. Thank you.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Yeah, it's like they're living colors is what it feels like. It's like, okay, I want to go back and change the color, it just means changing the palette, and then everything kind of follows suit.
That's right.
Does this inspire you to paint at all, or what do you?
You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist. The only thing that stopped me was talent. I was really bad. So, did you draw that?
I did, yes.
Wow. So, you guys can do it. Very jealous. No, I can't draw.
I like it, man. Well, we're going to shift gears a little bit now. Thank you so much, Masha. Thank you. Shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about 360 video, and not only 360 video, but authoring audio with 360 video, which it's tricky because, like, 360 video, when I turn this way, I want to hear this side of the crowd.
Right.
And back. So how do you author that? Luckily, we have somebody who knows how. Yaniv de Ritter, welcome, and Sonicscape.
Stop.
Thank you.
My arm's tired.
As a 360 video editor, I believe that audio plays a big role in creating immersive experiences. In order to achieve that, you need to go beyond stereo. You need to be able to capture and play back all the sound that surrounds you. You want to make sure that what you see and what you hear feels connected. Let's say I'm in a VR experience and someone is standing on my left and talk to me. I want to feel his voice coming from the left. But if I turn my head to face him, I want to feel his voice coming from the front. The technology that allows you to do that is called ambisonics audio. The problem is, oftentimes your 360 camera and your manual and an error-prone process. And you may need to correct this alignment in post. An episodic recording is just a WAV file, so let's open this in Audition to see how it looks like. So as you can see here, it has actually 4 channels, but it could go beyond that. The higher resolution your episodic recording is, the more channels you will have. It's actually way more complex than a stereo file. But more importantly, it doesn't interpret the data visually, it could really help me align it to my video. So let me show you that and show me the prototype. So what you see here is a boardwalk scene, and the video has been shot with a 360 video camera, and the audio has been recorded with an ambisonic microphone. And the first thing I want to do now is aligning my audio content to my video. So I'm going to play the video for a little bit for you. Okay, so to find a visual cue, and the guy shaking his bike right there is the perfect thing in my scene for me to align to. But right now I need to rely on perception, but we have a great feature. We created this ambisonic visualizer that allows you to see where the sound comes from. So I'm going to activate this right now and replay the content for you. So I'm going to pause and scrub it a bit. And the guy shaking his bike is actually right here, right? But the sound is a view that it's misaligned right now. But the beauty really is that I can select my audio clip, and it's represented now as a visual sphere that I can manipulate naturally just by dragging around, and I can realign my content that way. But that's not it. Oftentimes, ambisonic recordings are going to be great to capture the ambience of your scene, but you miss details. And I'm just going to deactivate this feature for a second and play the content. As you can see behind me, there is a bunch of birds, but we can barely hear them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring a recording of birds. And as you can see now, it appears on my scene as an audio object, and I can actually manipulate this object and move it in space and position this where I want it to be. And play the comment for you guys. Thank you.
It's cool. I mean, definitely. I don't know what he's. I thought he was initially feeding the swans, but now it kind of looks like he's getting rid of something. I don't know what it is. What do you think, man?
That's amazing. I mean, the applications for VR are obvious and exciting. I mean, I think I'm going to retreat into this realm. I think it's better than this one. No, this is really amazing. So what applications do you have in mind for this? Like VR and things like that?
Excuse me?
VR?
Yes.
Yeah, this is really, really fantastic. We have great chemistry, me and him. We're gonna go on tour.
Yanni, thanks so much, man.
Thank you. That's amazing.
It's awesome. I feel like it does get kind of confusing even me as a 360 video. I don't know what's what, quite frankly. We do have a note.
I can explain it to you, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah, we don't have the time. We'll move right along into our next demo. It's called Sidewinder. It's really cool, and hopefully you can help us explain this to us. We have Stephen DeVerde to talk about Sidewinder. Welcome, Stephen.
Thanks, all. So, virtual reality video is bigger than ever today. People are uploading videos to YouTube, to Facebook. They're showing films at festivals like Sensei, what they're doing. And the big question for us at Adobe is what's next? What's going to be the way that we engage with and interact with and create the virtual reality video of the future? And Project Sidewinder is here to answer that question. So let's hop in the headset and take a look at some footage. That's where I say goodbye. And here I am in San Francisco with a pretty standard VR video. There's the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm on the Embarcadero. On the pier here, we can see some grass, we can see some rocks, some waves. And this is a pretty standard video. So, I can look around. It's pretty cool. This was camera and a Google jump to stitch the video. And now when I look around this footage, I want to maybe I want to see this wall from the side here. So I'm going to try and come around to the side and take a look at it. But I can't really get a different view. Or maybe I'm going to try and kneel down a little bit. But I can't see a different view of the object in front of me. And why is that? Well, VR video is a fundamental limitation of virtual reality video. The camera sits in a single location and it records the scene all around, which is why I can look left and then right. But if I want to move my head a little bit to a different position, like to the side, it doesn't record what the scene looks like from this other position. It only knows what it looks like from one position. So I can't move my head and see the change in the scene from a different perspective. So what can we do about that? Well, this footage is stereo, which means I get different views of my left and right eye for a sense of depth. And with that depth comes a depth map. Here we can see that depth map where every pixel encodes how far away an object in the scene is. So the concrete barrier in front of me is very close, so it's bright white. The walkway kind of recedes in the distance a little bit, it's kind of gray. And then in the back where everything is kind of infinitely far away, it's black. And this is enough information that we can use it to approximate what the scene should look like from different points of view. So we're going to go back to the footage here. And you see I'm going to move back and forth, and we still don't see any change in the scene until I turn on Project Sidewinder. And now, as I move back and forth, it comes alive. Now I can move back around here and I can see different perspectives. I can come around and see the side of this wall, like I wanted to before. Maybe I can go up and down a little bit. I can see the grass a little more. I can kneel down and see what it looks like right in front of me here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm moving around a lot up here to try and show you really clearly on screen what this feels like, but you don't really need to move that much. You kind of move our heads a little bit as we look around, and just that little bit of motion is something that we're really carefully attuned to because it's part of how we perceive the real world. It's how we know that 3D objects are real and in front of us. And so even with just a little bit of motion, in the headset, it makes it feel like there's really a piece of concrete in front of me that I can look at and I can interact with, and I can feel immersed in this scene in a way I wasn't able to before. Let's take a look at some other footage. This is the Adobe San Francisco office lobby, and it's time. So here we've got a delightful little Christmas tree and a fire. I mean, it's a stereo video, but as I move back and forth, it still feels kind of flat until, you know, I turn on our rendering technique. And now, yeah, oh, we can see that it's really a Christmas tree. It's really got a 3D shape, and I can see there's ornaments in front, and there's Christmas lights in back, and you know, it's got like a structure. And if I turn it off, you know, it's like it just goes flat. It's like, oh, where did my 3D go? It feels like it's just projected onto a single sheet again. Until I turn it back on, and now you can really see a 3D scene that I'm really. So hopefully this is just a little glimpse of what the future of virtual reality video is going to look like.
Yeah, you want to try it? Yeah, you can try it. Yeah,
Can I try it?
Yeah, come on.
Alright. I'm just going to try it.
Saddle up.
Thank you. You look like if Guilfoyle was nicer. Oh, here.
So you're in regular mode now? And just go ahead and move around a little bit. You can see it's kind of flat.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to turn it on for you. And now move back and forth a little bit.
Oh.
There you go.
Side to side.
Wow, is this thrilling to watch? Wow, this is really, really impressive. So where is this?
San Francisco.
Oh, I like how confused that guy looks. What are they doing? And then when that guy goes around the corner, he looks back. Watch. When he goes around, he'll come around. Watch. Wait. There. He's like, what are they doing? That's awesome. Thank you.
Pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's really fun. And 2, some charts and graphs. Really? Charts and graphs? Okay, I love it. Data visualization, right, is difficult.
What, we're talking charts and graphs now?
Yeah.
Cool. We went from virtual reality to charts and graphs.
Charts and graphs. Sounds boring, kind of is. I'm just being honest.
No.
Bernard Kerr is the man, though, because he makes it look easy. Kind of takes
And this is for the North Channel swim. Okay, so from the spreadsheet, we're going to grab these from the top of the spreadsheet and put it into this palette. And this is what we're going to use to. And then when I hit the repeat grid, I get a bar for each of those swimmers. Now, if I want to set the length of this bar, I can select the right-hand side and bind it to the time variable. And now all these bar points are bound to time, and I can adjust them with this axis control. If I add some text, at this point it's the same all the way down, but I can bind that to the swimmer's time. And I'm going to open up my symbol library here and grab a swimmer. So I've got the swimmer sitting here, repeated the same way all the way down, but I've got this new concept which I call a sticky anchor, which lets me set up a relationship between the anchor point of one object and the anchor point of another. So now that I have this offset, so now I'm going to throw in a flag. Obviously not all of these swimmers are from New Zealand like me and Kim, so immediately bind that to the country variable. Fill that in. Alright, so here's Kim, and she looks like she's wearing the wrong bathing suit, so let me bind that swimmer to the gender variable. So now we have actually 3 women swimmers who have done these crazy swims. And then, look, 17 hours in the water is a long time, right? Okay, so now that I've sort of happy with my design here, I can apply all these bindings to each of the other swims. Now they automatically just get regenerated based on the data. You can also throw these all on the same page at the same time. So small multiples, and I can control the spacing between them too. So, you know, bar charts, maybe not your cup of tea. Maybe we'll try something a little more sophisticated, right? So now I'm going to do a weather radial. Now, if you know what a weather radial is, it's actually a visualization of weather showing you the high and low temperatures. So this would be really useful for Kim to know about when she's planning these swims, to know what time of the year to go for these crazy swims. So this time I'm going to bind the right-hand side of this bar to the high temperature for the day. The left-hand side is going to be bound to the low. And now when I hit the repeat grid, I have 365 of these bars in an arranged chart. And now I'm going to bind the color of this bar to the average temperature with this new color control. So these guys are running off the page to 365, and now I'm going to throw them into a radial pattern. And there we have it. So of course we can apply these bindings to all the different cities that you would be swimming from to work out where you should go. So I don't have time to do a full poster here, but here is a sort of design that I worked on earlier. So I just built data visualization, simple and complex ones, with total creative control and freedom.
Cool, guys? Thank you so much for that. This is awesome, by the way, because you did not show a spreadsheet or anything like that. It's literally modifying one graphic. It changes 365 of them. So hopefully you guys can see the power of this. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to shift gears. You got a little something right here on the stage.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are we?
We're going to play a game.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Sure.
We're going to go from charts and graphs. Play a game real fast. Do you mind? We got this on the stage. Now this is our opportunity. Can we do this?
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. This is Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2. I'm player 1. You are player 2.
I'm gonna go pretty safe because I feel like it'd be really embarrassing if I lost.
I want to go with.
I'm going with you.
E-Honda. Why not?
There's some E-Honda fans in the crowd.
I just think it's.
Oh wait, I think reset it. I think I set my hit rate to. I think I changed my settings so that I'm strong.
I've done this before.
Sorry. I just want to make sure I don't want an undue advantage. This is very important to me. Do you guys want to pick who I should be? This is not me showing off. Who? Chun-Li. Alright. I don't know her moves.
You're pretty competitive, man. It's kind of scaring me a little bit. I'm going with.
I'll go Chun-Li because I don't know her moves.
E-Honda it is.
Alright.
Japan.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Man.
Best out of 3? I don't really know what. Oh, you're killing me! Take that. It's very cool. I don't know how I just did that awesome thing.
It's back, forward, something.
Are you messing with me? Because that doesn't do a thing. Nice
it
try.
Is.
Ah! Alright. I'm going to town. Killing me.
No! This is so close!
Okay, we're just going to play one game. Oh, okay. Alright, we'll bring us, I guess I can't stop while I'm ahead.
Wait, no, it's 3 rounds. It's 3 rounds.
Alright, fine. I'm going to make this quick.
Oh no, what is happening?
I did get to play it once on stage earlier, so I do have an unfair. Who does this? This is usually me. Oh shoot.
No! Not cool! Not cool!
That's it. That's all we have time for. It's a dumb game anyway. Get out of here. We had to try, man. I don't know.
Not cool, man.
I'm sorry.
It's very inappropriate.
I was just banging on it, banging away at it.
That's not what you were doing.
I didn't.
I'm very angry.
I didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, we have someone who does know what we're doing. This is really cool. That will really make anyone feel like they can do 3D. like, it makes anyone feel like they're a 3D designer by none other than an Adobe intern. So this is really cool. Ashima Aurora is probably going to be my boss someday. Everybody give her a warm welcome, Ashima.
So, the thing we often have from 3D designers is that they want to learn 3D. But freedom over flat 2D equipment. But the problem is, of course, the difficult and time-consuming task of modeling in 3D. So what if we could just start from a simple sketch?
What? It's crazy, right?
What?
So here it is in 3D.
She's like, no big deal.
Good.
I wish you could
What are you
see
drawing this time?
It's over its
Guessing so.
It's like an eye.
Drew that and that came out.
It's a tree. It's a palm tree. One palm.
The book.
Nail it.
Adobe Sensei.
Let's now do a Halloween special. Well, I must have included that my drawing skills are not great.
What's going on here?
Yeah, what sorcery is this? Are you lying to us?
Well, I hope you guys remember in yesterday's keynote how you saw searching in 3D in Adobe Stock. Well, that's kind of what's happening here, but at a much deeper level. So this is I use deep learning powered by Adobe Sensei to recognize a sketch in Adobe Stock, and then it displays it to you. So effectively, if you think about it, it's like it's being created instantly.
Very cool. Awesome. So essentially it's doing this deep learning search. It's not necessarily creating anything, but it's pulling from Adobe Stock, essentially. These 3D models, it looked like at the right angle that you drew the object at as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. It tries to do that.
Cool.
Cool. Now let's do one from a side view.
What's this?
I'm sorry, my drawing is really hard for you to guess.
Some of you might have in your hands.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole wine bottle.
Let's add some strokes to it. Let's see if it's what you're holding right now.
Champagne bottle. So you just add a couple accents, essentially the foil for the champagne bottle.
Exactly. So now we'll do a last one for you guys.
Pizza? It's not pizza. You're hungry.
Looks like
Is it
like an orange.
Is it a bar mat? That's a bike.
Nailed it.
Cool. So now we can use this model in Adobe Dimension. So where you as a designer get to play with 3D scene and own it and do all the customization, modifications, and we can make it even prettier. And all starting from sketch using Quick 3D. Thank you.
Is it doing a real-time search right now when you draw? It's actually doing that search?
Oh, basically it's a deep net that's been trained on the stock models.
Okay, so but it is doing that, like you didn't.
Yeah. Yes.
You didn't
deep net is
pre-program.
sourced on the-
Wow.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have like it only has it doesn't have access to like macros and stuff in the Adobe library.
Should be the guy that knows.
Can I try something?
Oh, I don't know. All right, go fast. Let's go. Let's do it. We gotta be fast. We gotta be fast.
Where do I draw? Where do I draw?
Come on.
Do you guys want to remember?
Just go easy on it. She's a good turn.
Yeah, no, I listen, it's not, there's no way that this exists. Where do I?
You can draw on this one,
Okay.
right? But you can
You'll
actually,
see this.
you need to draw. You need to be comfortable with it. Let's see, what are you doing?
Okay. How do I do it? Model?
Yeah, but good luck with that because that's...
Oh.
Sorry.
No, that's, I knew there was general in there, but I just wanted to show off my skills a little bit.
Oh.
Thank you, that's really amazing. Actually, my drawing was more like a skull than an ninja.
I was impressed, man. You were not kidding me.
I mean, I have a lot of talents.
You too, man. We're super happy to have you. That is very awesome. Okay, next up is another one just kind of blows your mind as well. It's called Project Deepfill. Essentially, again, uses Adobe Sensei, fills in an image. I'm not even talking anymore about it. Please welcome Jaiwei Yu.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jaiwei, and today on launches. As you all know, that Photoshop already have a very powerful image profiling tool called Content Overfill, which can be used to remove distracting objects or undesired regions in an image to make it nicer. It works well in most cases, but my case here is quite complicated. Here, I have the save file. So I want to remove this region here because of the annoying alchemy. So I mask the region here. And let's see how Content Overfill can give us. Well, now I'm really. The main reason for this failure is because the Content Overfill does not try to understand the image. And it's only relying on copying the surrounding areas, the surrounding pixels, into the whole. And we believe a good image hole filling system should be able to understand the face and fill the nose with the nose, not the eyes or mouth or something else. So to bridge this gap and solve these very challenging image hole filling problems, we introduced the project Deepfill. We leverage the power of Adobe Sensei, deep learning, deep neural, and develop the deepfill that can understand the image. I press the deepfill button, and yes, it can. What if we mask the entire eyebrow? Can deepfill return us a new one? Well, let's try it. Here I mask the eyebrow. Oh, let's see Content Overfill first. Well, this time it copies the mouse into the location of the nose, and let's see the deepfill. Well, it can successfully hallucinate a new eyebrow for you. So, we know that deepfill works on faces, but in more cases, people travel around the world and take photos and find some people you want to remove. For example, this one, in my case. Here, I take a photo in Grand Canyon National Park. Well, it's a wonderful art, beautiful weather, but I find two people on top. So what I'm going to do is I take a photo and I mask here. Okay, let's see again Content Overfill first. Well, this image is quite high resolution. Well, this one looks visually realistic, but it's not semantically correct because it's not arc anymore. So with our deepfill, by the way, we can mask multiple regions and hallucinate it in one shot. Let's see it. And yes, this is the deepfill. One more thing. given the deep fill, users still have no control over what the deep fill will fill in this master region. Of course, we can provide multiple solutions for users to choose. But what if we can draw some simple sketches like this one? Here is another wonderful arc. And I want to create some unique features like this. I master region here. I want to draw a heart. I select the sketch tool and I draw a heart. Well, I'm not good at drawing with mouse. Oh, it's the best heart I can draw now. So with the deep fill, let's see how it forms. And yes. AI-powered, user-guided image hole filling technology, Project Deepfill, Sensei.
I don't really understand how it works.
It's really, really impressive. Wow. Able to understand the friendship between faces and landscapes and...
Yes, because this project is based on the Adobe Sensei and deep learning technologies. So millions of real-world images are used to train this model. So it can understand what's going on, can understand the background of the image.
Yeah, so it understands the image. I think it's like...
Sensei is the name of the deep learning?
Yes. We're happy you said that. It's actually so much more than that. It's basically part of this deep learning and a lot of AI searching image, understanding it recognizes that those are eyes.
Yeah.
And you said hallucinate, it'll hallucinate that image. It understands the image. If it's maybe pulling from another image or data from the photo. It looks good.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's magic to me, man. Okay, this next one's awesome. Super fun to watch.